And find your sit bones, drop nice and tall, touch your head just so you know where your crown is, and go up longer through the head, drop down through the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath, long inhale through the nose. See where the air goes. And with the sigh. So take a moment to do a little internal inventory, starting at your toes. Notice what happens in your toes when you sit an easy pose. And breathe your air all the way down to your feet. And then notice what happens as you bring that attention up the legs, into the shins and the knees. And notice where you might be holding in the quads or the hips. What would it feel like to just soften through the hip girdle? Know where to go. Nothing to do. We're not rushing forward into the day. We're simply being present right here, right now. Engaging that pelvic floor. Notice what happens when you lift up through the hammock of the pelvis. That pelvic floor, it's like doing a Kegel, so lifting up. And then notice what's happening through the hips. So what if you just kind of wiggle side to side, kind of feeling that body begin to soften into that pelvis. So the spine is supported. It's like the pelvis is our foundation. And then the spine is like our flower stem growing up out of that pelvis. And then find your center, wherever that is. And as you do those little tiny micro movements, what does it feel like to let those shoulders draw down your back? Sometimes I lift my shoulders up to my ears, roll them back and down. We spend a lot of time up in our head, thinking, moving. And what does it feel like to let all that energy and the thinking mind move down into the body? And then turn the head a little bit. Just a little, chin to shoulder, up to center, chin to other shoulder, up to center. Maybe the motion of no, side to side, and the motion of yes, chin to chest, back to center. And then growing tall. And now imagine all of your hair softening. Imagine that scalp letting go. Because our processors in our head, that would be the thinking mind, also known as the monkey. When our processors in overdrive, it tends to tighten the muscles of the scalp. What does it feel like to soften those muscles? Imagine your ears sliding down. Yes. And the jaw softening. The jaw is soft. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Finding your breath. Taking a moment to set your intention and allowing yourself to just drop into that space of intention. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And as people join us and they might pop in with their volume on, just stay present in your own body. That point of presence within yourself. Something that we learn later in life. We know as children we have it taught out of us, and then we learn it again later in life. To come within and know what it is that we truly need, want, desire. So beginning to deepen that breath, Balancing it out, inhaling for a count of 3, exhaling for a count of 3, and adding the ocean sound to it. You may or may not be able to hear me. I'm kind of far away from the microphone. But imagine that you can hear your ocean in your own ears. Balancing it out, slowing down the breath. Notice if you can slow the count down. And slowing it down one more time. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. And let's add a pause. So as you inhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, 3. Let you go on your own. One more round. And return to Ujjayi breath, normal breath with the ocean. And notice what it feels like. At what point did you feel the body, the mind drop in? Notice where you are in your mat. Notice where you are in your body. Excellent. On the next inhale, inhaling the hands up overhead as if you're inviting the entire universe into your practice. Palms facing each other, drawing up long through those hands, tightening around the bones. And then exhaling, just head to the right, but don't let that arm come down. Let this be on your own power, twisting the heart open to the sky. So feel the muscles of the back come into your practice, lengthen through your crown. Let that turtle come out of the shell. Inhaling up, exhaling the other way. Beautiful, spin that heart open. Inhaling, coming back to center, exhaling, twisting into it. Hands come down, encouraging that twist. Let those shoulders come down as well. Engage that core, grow long through your crown. Remember to breathe. So many little things. Notice what happens if you drop your shoulders, but engage your pelvic floor. It gives the body space to deepen. It might only be a micromillimeter, but it's deepening, and that's important. Inhaling the hands up overhead, exhaling, twisting the other way. Twisting, dropping out of the shoulders, looking over that other shoulder, deepening the twist, engaging that pelvic floor, noticing what happens when you engage that pelvic floor and lengthen through your crown. Excellent. Inhaling, hands up. Exhaling, hands down. If you're on a blanket, slide off the blanket, come all the way under the floor and open those legs into a wide angle. Now, make sure that you're still up on your sit bones. I have a lot of extra flesh here to make my seating more comfortable. have to pull it out of the way. Inhaling the hands up. We're going to head to the right. So if you can reach your toe, do that. If you cannot reach your toe, hand on your shin, spin that heart open and notice where you feel that. In my body, I feel it in what's called the serratus anterior. That's all the muscles between the ribs. Notice that if you engage that core and spin open because you're lengthening through your crown, it actually allows the opening of the heart to be a little less stressful, a little more ease. All about ease. Breathing into it, finding that breath, finding the hold. Sometimes the work is in the stillness. Finding your breath. If you find that you're looking to the ceiling, I have a tendency to do that. Bring that chin down, lengthen through the crown. Open the back of the neck. Open the heart. 2 more breaths. So from right here, we're going to engage that core and we're going to spin and turn into it. So whatever needs to happen in your body, sometimes I invite the belly to come with me by just encouraging it. A lot of that is embracing what's happening in your body. There's no judgment. Now, just because I can, in this posture, touch my toes, does not mean you have to. This is an okay position to be. This is an okay position to be. Know your body. Don't push past. Really honor if it's saying no. Honor that. Back out of it and then exhale into it. The lengthening and elongating the muscles happens on the exhale, not the inhale. Inhaling, you back out of it a little bit. Exhaling, you sink into it. 2 more breaths. So with this right hand, set it on the floor. With the left hand, walk it around. We're going to go right into a twist here. So we're still lengthening, but now we're looking behind the foot. A little bit different. You're keeping strong in the pelvic floor. And then inhaling yourself up as if you're going to do a reverse cartwheel. Hands down. Big hands up. Exhaling, tipping to the other side. Coming into that left foot. So what's happening here? We've invited the internal organs into our postures. So as we go to the right first, we're stimulating that ascending colon. And then as we twist, the transverse colon is invited in. And then as we come up and go to the other side, we invite the descending colon in. Very important in morning practice. Get our body moving in so many ways. Breathing into it. Intestinal tract is all about processing life. Spinning that heart open. Digesting our life. Tipping through the chin, lengthening through the back of that neck. Feel the body opening on the exhale. Beautiful. Inhaling, begin to turn into it. So, those of you who've been in class before know where we might be heading with this, turning in already a posture. Triangle we do this in, our favorite posture. Breathing into it. With that left hand, place it on the floor, follow it by the right hand, and walk it a little bit deeper. Notice how it's different on this side. Do you have as much space on this side? Sink down into it a little bit lower. Breathing into it. When we begin to slow things down, it's sometimes easy to notice how busy our mind is at all times. What does it feel like to create space? Inhaling, lifting that right hand up, cartwheeling up. Exhaling the hands down, making the peace sign and letting those touch the mat, just the first 2 fingers, sinking down into it. Engaging that pelvic floor, growing up long in the crown, letting those shoulders soften down. Feel yourself root into the earth. Inhaling the hands back up, exhaling, heading straight forward, hands come down, and allow the heart to lead, but tip the chin slightly so you can feel the back of the neck open. Softening down. A little bit lower each time. Feeling those legs begin to open. Breathing into it. Walking yourself up, bringing those legs right together in front of you into Dandasana. Draw through those heels, inhaling the hands up, exhaling, swan dive forward. Now, you might be able to reach your toes, you might not. Honor what's happening. Dandasana, hamstrings are tight for me, so it's a little bit more work in order to allow them to open. And I'm finding as I do my exploring, my inquiry, it has something to do in my thinking mind with the being safe of falling forward, stepping into the future. The mind is very powerful. What you think will be. That's why it's really important to be mindful of where you spend your time thinking. Breathing into it. Three more breaths. Let this just soften into whatever Dandasana looks like for you. Last breath, inhaling, hands come up, exhaling them down. We're going to spin right around into tabletop. We're only going to use tabletop as a foundation today. So build your hands, pressing into the floor, spinning those elbows forward, sliding that tailbone down, and then curling the toes under and exhaling softly up into a little half dog. So let those knees be soft. Let your body rest on your thighs. Let go of your head, sinking all the way down into dog, half dog here. And then as you're ready, inhale, soften through the knees, exhale up into that right heel. Feel that heel go all the way to the floor. Inhale up onto the toes, exhale down into half dog. Let those chest come onto your knees. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale into the left heel. So we're going to do this in three parts where we inhale up, exhale kind of like a squat, inhaling up, exhaling into the right heel. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling into the left heel. So let's do 3 more sets of those. Find your Durga breath, find that Ujjayi breath, and really connect your breath to your body. So this is the beginning of 1 right here. This is 2. Let go of your head, nothing to hold on to. One more, all the way through. So if you're on your left heel, that's awesome. Coming up onto your toes, inhaling, exhaling back into both heels, all the way back, Feel that heart press towards the knees. Feel the heels work towards the floor. Now, a little detail that sometimes is forgotten is the tail. Lift the tail to the ceiling. Engage that pelvic floor and feel those sit bones kind of open, creating space in that pelvic girdle. Excellent. We're going to inhale, lift up onto the toes, exhale into that left foot. Inhale, lift that right foot straight up. Lift it up high. Breathe into it. Find your breath. And on the exhale, bring it all the way up in between your hands. If you have to help it, do. So that movement right there begins to strengthen the core. It also strengthens the right side of the psoas. So find your lunge and sink all the way down. If you need blocks here, you have them. You may use them. So we're going to exhale, pressing down. Feel those hips square off. Feel that psoas of the left leg open. Engage that core. Inhale, step back into dog. Okay, we're going to do that again. Inhale, lifting that leg up. Right leg up again. Exhaling all the way through. Notice that each time you're going to get a little bit closer to doing it in one movement if you're not already there. Some of you can do that in one movement. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling, stepping back into downward facing dog. We're going to do it one more time. We're going to do 3 on each side. So inhaling, lifting that leg up. Exhaling, bringing it all the way through. All the way through. Strengthening our core. When our center is strong, our entire being is strong. Breathing into it. Inhaling, stepping back into downward facing dog. Walk it out just to notice the difference of the right side to the left side. Pressing back into dog. If you need a break, this is the place to do it. We're going to hang out in dog. So if your arms are tired, draw your heels together. Go to child's pose. Take a break. Notice what it feels like. For those of you still in dog, find your breath. Let go of your head. Is your heart working towards your knees? Do your little intricate movements. 2 more breaths. Last one. Those of you in child, return to downward facing dog. Inhaling, lifting that left leg up. Find the strength in 3-legged dog. Exhaling, bringing it all the way through. So I have a little bit more challenge on the left side. Exhaling down. Feel those points work. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to be here for 3 breaths, and then we're going to do 2 more of these. On the next inhale, stepping back into dog. Find your dog. Inhaling, lifting that left leg. Exhaling, bring that belly button to your spine, bring it all the way through. We're going to be such strong lungers that we will think nothing of that movement. Exhaling, taking it back, finding your dog, breathing into it. Inhaling, lifting into 3-legged dog. Exhaling all the way through. Lunge it out. Find your lunge. Find your breath. Now, you'll see me creep my toes forward because I have a little trouble getting all the way through to where I like to lunge from. It's really important that your knee stays over your ankle or behind the ankle. Feel it travel to the little toe. Now, tuck the chin just slightly. It's not a deep tuck. It's more of an invitation to open the back of the neck and sink straight down. Breathing into it. Excellent. Inhaling, stepping back into dog. Draw your heels together. Open your knees. Sink down. Take a break. Find that space Look where your breath is. Excellent. Feel the body drop in. How do your hips feel different now? Just notice. No judgment. It's more of an inquiry of what's different. On the next inhale, we're going to rise back up. Curl the toes under, exhaling back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, lifting through that right leg. Exhaling, bringing it all the way forward into lunge, high lunge. So let's do a little work here in lunge. Sinking those feet down into the earth, the toes of the back feet are working down. Feel that left heel press back towards behind you so that you can feel an opening in the Achilles. And then feel the hips press towards the earth. Opening the psoas. If you've been out in the yard, your psoas has been working hard by scooping you over to pull weeds. I was weeding my garden this morning. And it's such an interesting paradox to weed your garden and then weed the garden of the mind. It's a nice meditation. Then sinking back, straightening that front leg. Walk that back foot in a little bit so the heel can go to the floor. Breathing into it. Awesome. Look where we are, everybody. Our favorite position. Taking the left hand, placing it next to the right foot. If the floor's too far away and you're okay with balance, you can take a hold of your shin. And then inhaling, opening that other arm. Reverse triangle. Look at that. Finding your breath. Three more. Let it be a meditation. One more, lengthening through those arms, coming back. Now, pressing back into lunge. Step that back foot in about a half a step and drop that heel down, and then cartwheel up into warrior. Right here. Sinking all the way back into dancing warrior. Nice long opening lateral movement. Now you're going to feel this between the armpit of your left, let's see, my right arm and my right hip. Inhaling, coming forward, sliding across the body and sinking down. Your elbow can rest on your knee. Breathing into it. Open that heart. Everybody warm now? So the days are getting warmer and they're getting longer. I kind of forgot how late it stays light here in Kansas. Almost till 9:45. Pretty interesting. So with this bottom hand, we're going to sink it straight down. Now you may or may not reach the floor. It doesn't matter, but let the elbow open your knee. Get a little groin opening there. Breathing into it. Excellent. Inhaling, feel the strength, engage your core, come all the way up. Warrior two. And then slide across the body, cartwheeling down. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Here's your dog. Now, this is a great place to take a break. If you need a break, take it. I'm going to spin around on the mat, so I'm going to keep facing you when we do the other side. If you're in child's pose, find your breath. If you're in dog, let dog be your recovery point. Notice the difference of the right side to the left side. I have way more space in my right hip now. Breathing into it. On the next inhale, lifting through that left leg. Lift it up high. Exhale it all the way through. Sink down into it. So if you have to spin around on your mat so that you're facing me, that's fine. You can do that. I'm not sure where everybody's at in their home or in their yard or wherever. But breathe into it, sinking down. A little bit lower, sinking a little lower. Feel that psoas begin to open. Press through the back of your heel. Excellent. Taking a half step in, pulling back through that front leg, creating almost like a triangle in the legs. Again, taking that right hand, either putting it on the shin or right next to your right foot, and spinning it open. Now this side is way more challenging for me. That's what I notice in my body. What do you notice in your body? Breathing into it. Imagine that it looks perfect. Perfect, like a beautiful triangle, reverse triangle. Breathing into it. Inhaling through those fingertips, exhaling, coming back down, sinking back down into lunge just for a little opening. And then step that back foot in and set the heel down, rising up into warrior two. Breathing into it, take your time. Get there in the way your body gets there. And when you are ready, sinking backwards into dancing warrior. Beautiful. Inhaling, sliding across the body, elbow to the knee, bringing that other hand up, opening that heart. Nowhere to go. Hanging out in a lateral opener, loving every minute of it, smiling. Now, inhaling, exhaling, lengthen through that left arm. Let it reach toward the floor. It may or may not reach it. And let that elbow work against the knee. Open that groin. Create space in that hip. Slight tip in the chin to open the back of the neck. Breathing into it. Excellent. Inhaling, hand comes back up onto the knee. Inhaling, lifting up. Back into warrior. And then cartwheeling back down into downward facing dog, all the way to child if you need a break. If dog is just with me today, so I'm honoring that. But if you need a break, this is a great place to do it. If you're in dog, notice what's happening. My strength is building because there's a little bit of a tremble going. When the body trembles, that just means you're asking it to do something new. Breathing into it. On the next inhale, slide forward into plank. Let those shoulders be right over your hands. So if you have to adjust to do so, knowing that it's okay to modify at any time. Belly button comes up to the spine. Flatten that back down. Elbows in, lowering straight down. Inhaling halfway up into cobra. Right here, just a little one. Lowering down, not changing anything, just lower down. Inhaling, coming a little deeper. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, lifting up. Make sure that pelvic floor is strong. If you can come deeper, do. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, finding your level because we're going to hold. So whatever's comfortable, it might be right here. It might be here. It might be here. Elbows are tucked in close to the body. Pelvic floor is drawing up. Belly button is back. Shoulders are down, lengthening through the crown. Breathe. Inhaling, turning the toes under, stepping back into downward facing dog. Finding your best dog. So whenever you do a back bend, it's good to do a forward fold. So dog is essentially our forward fold. Breathing into it. Inhaling into plank. Exhaling, elbows in. Inhaling up into cobra. Curling the toes under, exhaling the dog. We're going to do 3 more of those. Inhaling forward into plank. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling up. Exhaling dog. 2 more. Knowing that at any time, child's pose is a nice place to take a break. Honor your body. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling dog. Inhaling plank. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling dog. Find your dog. Find your child. Find your space that you feel good breaking in. Excellent. On the next inhale, find your way into forward fold. So the way I'm going to get there is I'm going to lift my right leg, step it through, let my left leg come with me. Some of you will jump. Some of you will do a little run. Some of you will just stand up and come into forward fold. Whatever your way is perfect. Drop out of your head. Let it all go. Forward fold. You can clasp your hands behind your legs. You can hook your hands in your elbows. But just allow it to be what it is. Some of you might want to hold your shins. Some of you might want to touch the floor. Notice where you're holding on and where can you let go. On the next inhale, we're going to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Bringing those hands all the way up overhead. Tall mountain right here. Exhaling your hands down into Tadasana. Mountain pose. So it's really great to take a second and look down. Are my feet even? Sometimes when we come to standing, one foot will get in front of the other one. This is a normal rotation in the body. But for the sake of Tadasana, let's bring them parallel with one another. Lift those toes up. What does it feel like to look down at your feet and lift your toes? Spin your knees open to the little toe and then grow up by dropping that pelvic, that sacrum, the tailbone down to the floor, lifting through that pelvic floor, drawing up through the center of your body. And if somebody's got a hold of a string right here and pulling you up, dropping your shoulders down. Now set your little toe down. Set the 4th toe down. How many toes have gone already? It doesn't matter. It's just kind of amusing to know. 3rd, 2nd, and big toe. Now I have been doing these set the toes down for 12 years, and I still have 3 toes go at once. So know that it's a practice. It's an exercise. Notice how your feet are connecting into the earth. Breathe into the earth. Excellent. On the next inhale, hands can come to your waist or they can stay out. We're going to pour into the right foot, drawing that left foot up into tree. So wherever your tree is with you today. My tree is below my knee. So be above or below your knee, but not on your knee. So it is an easy thing to hook your heel on your knee, but it's a very unhealthy thing. Find a point to look at. I'm looking at all of you. And so I'm going to stop looking at you, find a point to look at, and drop into this little half tree. We'll add the arms in a minute, but I want you to get used to the idea of what it feels like to stand on one leg. And then step out of it, pour right into the other foot. We'll open the hips in a minute here and come right into that tree, little half tree. Little sapling. Excellent. Step out of it. Again, we're going to pour back into that right foot. This time, we're going to go all the way into full tree. So find a greasy point, find a point to lock in on. Engage that pelvic floor, square off the hips. Add your arms when you're ready. Breathing into it. Three more breaths. Last one on the exhale, stepping out of tree, step wide, step wide. Give yourself some circles. Put your hands below your hips, kind of where you can feel where the top of your leg attaches into your hips. So this is an interesting sensation because a lot of times we think of the hips being clear up here, but our hip joints, where our femur and our hips come together, it's ball and socket, it's down a little bit lower. Move into it. See if you can feel the circling of the joints. Circle it the other way. Excellent. Stepping back into mountain. Pouring into that left foot. Bringing that right foot open. Coming into your full expression of tree. Hands might be up. They might be in cactus. Play with the arms a little bit. What feels good to you? There's no wrong way. There's only a way. Three more breaths. And last one. Stepping out of your tree. Again, stepping wide. Circling it around. Reversing it. Circling it around. Side to side. Experiment. See where your hips move easily. Notice where they might be a little resistance. And then turn and step forward to the front of your mat. Inhaling the hands up overhead. Exhaling, swan dive down to forward fold. Let your chest really come onto your knee. Now, if you need to bend your knees to touch the floor, do that. So we're going to keep bending. And where I really want everybody to go is to squat. But my squat is like right about here. But if you can take your heels all the way down, you're fanning all the way down to your heels, do it. Doesn't happen in my body. This is where it goes, is right here. And then go all the way to the floor. So honor any knee injuries that you might have. Coming right here to sitting on your sit bones. And standing, come up tall against your thighs. Bring it in. Engage that core. Shoulders are down, lengthening through the crown. Let go of your hands and come back. Right here. Breathing into it. And then inhaling up and exhaling a little lower. And inhaling up. Exhaling back. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Inhaling up. Exhaling and hold it. Hold it right here. Now, if you have the space to roll down, if you need to touch your thighs to do it, go ahead and do that. Lengthen your hands up overhead. Walk your feet in as close to your behind as you can get. Nice and close. Notice that your feet are in line with your hip points. So the ASIS are your hip points. They're the kind of the bony front part of your pelvis. Okay? And so the knees will line right in line. Hands come down beside you. Scooping the shoulder blades underneath. Preparing for bridge. We're going to inhale and roll into a pelvic tilt, but not up into bridge. Exhale down. Inhale, rolling into a pelvic tilt. So what I'm really looking for in the pelvic tilt is where else do you feel it besides just in the abdomen? So when I roll into a pelvic tilt, I feel a release in my low back, and I notice some restriction in my legs. Now that's my body. Where do you feel it in your body? So find your breath and do the pelvic tilts with your breath. So we're inhaling, releasing it down, exhaling, drawing in the pelvic tilt. Your gluteal muscles are soft. Only thing working here is your pelvic floor and the belly button to the spine. This is actually a great exercise for low back pain. If you have any low back pain, if you do pelvic tilts, it will help relieve that. Inhaling and exhaling, follow your breath. We're going to do 5 more pelvic tilts. 4 more. 3 more. That gives you an idea of how long my inhale and exhale is. 2 more. Last one. So from right here, from the pelvic tilt in, exhale a little further and press your feet into the floor. Begin to rise up into bridge. No glutes, still no glutes. This whole back area, your hip area is soft. So you're not going to go as high. I only come less than an inch off the floor. And then exhale, roll down. And then inhale, pressing the feet into the floor. Let the lift be in the pelvic floor. Now bring the glutes in and lift up into bridge. No turning to look at the screen. If you need to look at the screen, then come out of bridge, turn your head and look. If you look while you're in bridge, it's very compromising to the neck. So look at the sky, look at the ceiling. Lift through that pelvic floor. If you want to grab your hands underneath your body and hang on to each hand, that opens the shoulders a little bit more, you're welcome to do that. Breathe into it. On the next inhale, exhale and press a little higher. Challenge yourself. Take it up. Close your eyes. Drop into bridge. And when you begin to feel the body want to move on its own, in Kripalu Yoga, this is called meditation in motion. Keeping your eyes closed without looking at anything around you, just enjoying your internal journey. If the body wants to move in a different direction, follow it. The body has a wisdom that the mind gets in the way of. This is called meditation in motion. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Sometimes it looks like staying in bridge. Sometimes there's other motions that occur. Sometimes you go back into standing postures, and that's okay too. Follow your body. And if the body is not taking you anywhere, stay in bridge. But keep breathing. This is an exploration of your own experience. No 2 bodies are the same. The beauty of being human. Enjoy this time of discovering your own self. So we're going to be here about 5 more breaths. And somewhere in the next 2 breaths, begin to find your way into knees at your chest, rocking side to side. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just being present with yourself. Now lengthening through that left leg, keeping the right knee in, engaging that pelvic floor, exhaling, drawing that right knee across the body into a twist. So at this point, I have not gone into a T position with my arms because I first want to get the lower lumbar spine into a twist. Pelvic floor is strong. Then pick those shoulders up and flatten them on the floor. Opening that right hand into a T position and letting the nose travel over to look at the right hand. Breathe into it. And on the exhale, allow the twist to deepen. Excellent. Inhaling, drawing it in. We're going to roll back. We're going to just pass through the opening of the knee and then release it down to the floor. You might have to wiggle flat on the floor. Draw that left knee in. Engage the core, draw it across the body. Once it's across the body, pick those shoulders up, flatten them down, then open the arm and look to the left hand. Deep twist. Breathing into it. Inhaling, nose back to the ceiling, bringing that left knee back, opening it up, and then lengthening it down. This is a really nice place to wiggle flat and then give a nice long stretch in the body. Open the, point the fingers, point the toes, open it up, and let it go with a big sigh. And then ask the body, oh wise body, is there anything else I need? And if there's nothing else that the body needs, find your way into Shavasana, the last posture. The most welcome posture, the most important posture. Integration of what we have done. I'm going to read from the book Go In and In by Donna Falls. When I can be the witness, all manner of miracles occur. Old wounds heal. The past reveals itself to be released. Present dramas play themselves out without sinking emotional talons into my soft skin. The witness welcomes truth and dares to meet reality on its own terms. It is the ground in which the seeds of transformation take root and finally flower. When the witness is awake, the lake of mind is still. And in that mirrored surface, I see my own true face as spirit smiling back at me. So gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And as you're ready, you can roll to your side. Pressing back up into easy pose. Bringing your hands to your heart. Namaste.
Namaste.